Hey guys, welcome back to Big W Barbecue. My name is Nate. Today we're going to be smoking up some turkey breast. Thanks for joining me here today and a happy Thanksgiving. For today's video we're going to be cooking up some turkey breast, specifically turkey breast tenderloins. Last year around this time I went ahead and smoked up a full turkey. This year I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to try just smoking the turkey breast. This particular recipe is going to be handy for some of you that may be cooking for not quite a large enough group where a whole turkey is necessary. My personal preference is just to cook a full turkey, have some leftovers afterwards. However, I wanted to do a cook here that would be specific to someone who may not want as much meat. If you're not familiar with the turkey breast tenderloin, what that is it's kind of the muscle here that kind of sits right between the two breasts. What's particularly nice about these tenderloins here is that this meat here doesn't get worked very much on the turkey, so you end up with a meat that is very tender. If you don't have the option to buy just the tenderloin and you have the full breast, that is perfectly fine as well. This recipe works great for that too. So what I'm going to be working with here today is not quite 2 pounds of tenderloin. In regards to the prep of these things, it's going to be pretty simple here. One of the first things I did is I went ahead and removed this turkey from the packaging and rinsed it off. I went ahead and added this to a Ziploc bag. Then I went ahead and added a decent amount of buttermilk to the bag. I'm going to be using this buttermilk here as my brine for today. Anytime that you are smoking poultry, I definitely recommend brining. It just gives it an additional moisture to it and it helps prevent it from drying out. After adding that buttermilk, go ahead and set this in the refrigerator for anywhere from 4 to 12 hours. For this particular cook, I went ahead and did this last night in preparation for today. The next morning, you're gonna go ahead, take it out of the bag, rinse it off in cold water, pat it dry with paper towels, and that's where we're at right now. So what I started out with here is a full stick of salted butter. I went ahead and melted that on low heat on my stove, and I went ahead and added a smaller clove of minced garlic, as well as a few sprigs of rosemary. What these two herbs are gonna do is it's gonna infuse a nice flavor here. It's gonna give you something a little bit different than just straight butter. After you've added your butter, go ahead and grab some rub, give it a nice coating. Then we can go ahead and turn these guys over. And do the same thing on the other side. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and let this kind of hang out while we go ahead and get the smoker all put together. So for this cook, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be cooking this out on my Weber Smokey Mountain. You can certainly use any type of grill here or even an oven if you want. Regardless of how you cook this, what you're going to want to have is a cooking temperature of around 275 degrees. These tenderloins here shouldn't take too long because they're relatively thin. We're going to be going to an internal temperature of 165 degrees. Now in my opinion, this is very crucial here to watch that internal temperature. This turkey is very easy to dry out if you're not careful. However, if you watch that temperature and you pull it off as soon as it's safe to eat, you should be just fine. For the wood here today, I'm going to be using apple wood. I would recommend any sort of fruit wood here. If you want to use something like a hickory or an oak, just be very careful on not having too much smoke there. What we're going to do here throughout the cooking process is every 20 to 30 minutes or so, I'm going to go ahead and baste these things with this butter mixture here. Now one of the things you may notice here with this butter mixture is it's going to start to set as it cools. What I'd recommend doing there is just kind of either keep it on a very low heat or go ahead and just warm it up when you get to that point. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and fire up that smoker. An hour and a half later, we hit our internal target temperature of 165 degrees. We went ahead and brought that inside, and now we have a terrific smelling and looking turkey breast. There's all sorts of different ways that you can eat this. You can put it on sandwiches, you can eat it plain, get your gravy and stuffing and all your traditional Thanksgiving sides, and you will have a terrific meal right here in front of you. Very simple, straight to the point, but I don't think this will disappoint. Let's go ahead and take a sample. You can see here, looks like we're cooked all the way through. We got a light little bit of a smoke ring around the outside there. Looks like we still got some pretty good moisture left to that. It's super tender, full of moisture. The rub that I use here gave it a nice sweet taste. The butter base that we did gives it a nice savory flavor. Like I mentioned earlier, this is gonna be a perfect option for you if you've got a smaller get-together that you've got going on here for Thanksgiving, or if you're someone who just prefers the white meat of the turkey, this is definitely the route you should go. I hope that you've enjoyed this alternative cook instead of cooking up the traditional turkey. Hope that you guys have a fantastic Thanksgiving, and thanks again guys for hanging out with me here today.